Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hammer Podcast. Today is September 8th, 2020, and I'm speaking with two members of the group Maximum Exposures Michigan. These guys expose online predators. If you'd like to support this group, go to their YouTube channel, subscribe, go to their Facebook, and like the Facebook page. All the links will be in the description below. All right, so let's get to the discussion.
Sounds good.
Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. I really do. You know, it's something that I would like to do to help you guys to help get the word out there. So,
Definitely.
um, oh, you're welcome. Um, Maximum Exposures Michigan. For the people that don't know who you are, can you kind of give us, reason or the reason why you're doing this, the purpose of it, or something like that?
Our goal is to mainly raise awareness to
Uh-huh.
sexual predators and the dangers of the internet for children. What we do is we run an online organization. We decoys on different social media and dating apps. When these guys make contact with us right away, we tell them, we disclose the age with them of our decoy, and we get the ones who continue to talk to us and want to meet.
Okay. All right. Have there been any type of legalities? I've seen some of the Predator shows, you know, like To Catch a Predator with Chris Hansen and all that. Um, I I'm not trying to get into their heads, but just to play the other side,
Right.
when they get exposed, would they be able to say? Because I was watching your videos,
Mhm.
and uh, one of you guys said, "Well, you were talking to me."
Right.
So would that be something that you shouldn't say? Because in court, if it does get there, would they say, "Well, I was talking to this guy. So
Right.
how could I have been talking to a 14-year-old girl or whatever?" You know what I mean?
Every state's different with their laws. The way that
Uh-huh.
Michigan laws are written, there's a law that's called enticing a minor for immoral
Okay.
purposes.
Uh-huh.
Um, and specifically in that law, it states that the person doesn't need to know the actual age of the person or
Okay.
doesn't know who they are on the other end. As long as I tell them that I'm 13 or 14 or 15, that's the age that I am, whether I'm a boy or a girl or who I am. As long as they think that that's who I am, then that's who I
Hmm. Okay.
am. Yeah.
All right. Well, that sounds good. Have you had any problems with any of these predators, these dirt bags? I mean, as far as violence, I know there was one where he pushed the guy with the camera.
Right.
Has there been any type of guns or knives or anything like that, or has it been pretty kosher?
It's been pretty calm so far.
Okay.
You never really know when you're walking into these situations. When we catch these guys, it's natural to be in a fight or flight instinct. So
Right. Right.
you have to you really have to be ready for anything. The guy that tried grabbing my camera, he actually did have a couple knives on him, but he decided he didn't want to touch them, which was a good idea. But
Yeah.
the way we approach people too is big too, because a lot of the other teams that you'll see out there's teams that do what we do all across the country. A lot of the groups, they're really aggressive, and that's really not the approach that we go for. Um, the way that we look at it is the more calm you talk to them like a normal human being, the more receptive they're going to be to you and want to answer your questions. If you come at them screaming and calling them names, they're not going to want to talk to you. So that's why we try to stay as calm as we can. And that also kind of lowers the danger risk too when we're there if we're calm with them.
Well, they're already scared as it is because they've been
Oh,
caught.
yeah. So, yeah.
You know, and I'm sure you've heard all the lines.
We've heard
You know.
everything. Guys say. They
You
always say
know.
it's they always say it's their first time, and so either we're really good at catching people on their first time meeting kids, or it's just they're all.
Well, probably the first time they've been caught.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah,
not.
and
Probably not the first time they've done it.
that's the
You
thing
know.
too. We've out of all the people we've caught, I'm sure you saw the exposure that we just did of the guy from Wisconsin, the sex offender that we.
Yes. Yes. It was on my. Actually, that's how I. That's how I got to know you guys. Someone shared it on my Facebook, so I went there to Maximum Exposures Michigan, and I'm like, wow. So that's when I decided to give you send you a text, and that way,
Right.
we could kind of get a little more exposure about this guy. Are there any other groups? Do you call yourself a group or an organization, or is it just
Yeah,
some?
we're more of a group. We're a
Okay,
very star, but like I said, there's other groups that do it all across the country.
right,
Yep.
right. So, and getting back to the lines that these guys say.
Right.
The one that was there was one video I saw with the guy who brought some panties and a bra.
Yeah, that fella.
I was just going to give them to her, is what he said.
Yeah,
Well, why didn't you just send them by mail? I mean, the lines they come up with are just, you could tell just by their face that they're lying right off the bat.
yeah,
They know they've been caught, and
yep,
they're basically stuck in a corner, and they don't know what to do,
exactly.
you
Yeah,
know?
body
So,
language way every time. That's
yes, yes, it gives them away every time. So, I was watching some news clips, and they're calling your group and other groups like you um, predator hunters. I don't know if that's uh, what you should be called. I mean, when you talk about a hunter, you're talking about somebody who's actually going after them. You know what I mean? With weapons. A hunter. You're not hunters. You're basically just exposing these guys. I
right.
mean, is that the
Well,
title?
we're turning them into the prey basically. Instead of them turning these little kids into prey,
Right.
going after them, and that's kind of just the term that's been pinned on us. The one that we really don't like is being called vigilantes. We don't really feel like we're vigilantes. We're not
Right.
violent. Okay? We don't really like the term vigilantes. Like I said, the main reason why we do this is to raise awareness, to show people in Marinette, I think it was, we caught the guy in Wisconsin at Little Town. Those people never would have known what that guy did that day unless we posted the video.
Right.
Uh, People get arrested, these sex offenders, these predators get arrested all the time, and you never hear about it. You never know what they did. You don't even know if the guy living across the street from you is a sex offender until you look him up on the list.
That's
So if
true. Yeah.
we expose these guys and get them out there to their communities and share it to their communities, then the community actually knows what they're really about, and kind of as raw as it gets.
And once it's on the internet, it's on there forever. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
there forever. Yeah.
So, um, another thing I was going to ask: are the cops okay with the things you guys do? Are they fully cooperative, or you just because I was when I was watching this newscast online, they were saying that of course this is the media talking.
Right.
They said that you guys are more of a hindrance to the police. I
Right.
don't look at it that way. I think the cops have other things to do. It's not just trying to catch predators. They're dealing with armed robbery and murder and all these other different types of crimes. So they can't focus all their efforts on just one. So that's when you guys come in, I believe.
Right.
To kind of help them out. If they need evidence, you give them the evidence they need.
Exactly.
So
Um, every county is different with the way that they kind of look at what we do. Some counties are with us and some are not. As being law enforcement, they can't really condone what we do because we're citizens and how dangerous it is and all that stuff like that. Um, but every police department we've worked with so far has been really receptive to us and really open and kind to us. That's not always the case with other groups. Kind of the more professional you handle the situation when you're there with the predator, the more willing they're going to be willing to work with you.
right.
If you handle it like a fool out there, they're not going to want to take your case at all. If you handle it professionally, there's more of a chance to get up.
Yeah, and I've noticed some of the predators that you've exposed. One was a college professor. I mean, a teacher. And
Yeah,
the
they
thing is, back in the day, you know, in the '80s, early '90s, there was no internet, so you only knew of the people in your community. Basically, you got the funny uncle, you got the guy down the street. Now with the internet, it just seems like they're all over the place. And when you look on maps on Google and they shows where the predators are, I mean, they're everywhere.
those are
You
just the
know?
ones caught. Um,
Right.
the guy that we
Right.
caught in Wisconsin, he's actually the first registered sex offender we've ever caught. So all these other guys that we've caught before him, they've gone all these years under the radar. No one's ever known about their dirty little secret. And so yeah, there's definitely a lot more out there than just what's on the list.
So it's basically you guys are going to be doing this for a while.
Uh,
there's a there's a
I'll
lot of
see
them out there.
if there. Probably get one if they wanted to, but that's another reason I started it too. I saw these other groups across the country doing it, and I wanted to see how many predators were in my area. And once I started, there's just so many, and they just keep coming. Like we pray for the day that we don't have to do this. We don't want to do this. Like
Right.
we're gonna do this.
And it seems like a lot of them, a lot of these predators, they don't really care. I mean, that when I was watching some of your videos, which by the way, to everybody who's listening out there, go to the YouTube page and subscribe to these guys. It's Maximum Exposures Michigan. Same thing, right?
Yep.
Yes. And of course, go to their Facebook page and like the page up, and subscribe to my page too. So a little plug for you guys. I was watching like one of the videos, and you have some text messages that go by, and these guys don't waste any time.
No, they don't.
They start off with "Hello, how you doing?" to "I want to have sex." I mean, it's just like that. It's and not even caring if it's a decoy or not.
Yeah, some of them don't even say hi. They're just like, "Here's my penis."
And there was one, yeah, there was one video that I saw where the guy was basically naked, looking in the, he was in the mirror, taking a
Oh yeah,
picture, like,
yeah. The convictions that we got. That guy is a registered sex offender now
oh,
for
is
the
he?
next 5 years. Yep,
Good,
for
good. Like I said, they just don't waste any time.
they don't.
Man,
He was he was a wrestling coach too, a youth wrestling coach.
a wrestling coach.
Crazy. We've caught everybody from a millionaire down to a dollar store worker. Come every walk of life.
Right. Now, I'm surprised that there are no women that have been caught. I mean, you see women on the news all the time that are teachers, but the videos that I saw from your channel, there's no women. You
No, it's
any
a
idea why?
it's a lot. Excuse me. It's a lot harder to get the women really on there. I have talked to women. I've actually even talked to couples before that have wanted to meet up, but they get cold feet. Um, but yeah, you don't find so many women, but there are. I have seen multiple exposures of women across the country, but we haven't got one yet.
I haven't got one yet, huh?
They're out there though.
Yeah. I've noticed that it's more of a male type of problem than a female. I think females like to do stuff with the people in a little circle, their own that they know, basically, like maybe a nephew or a cousin or something like that. They keep the circle small. Guys just don't give a shit. Guys just go out there. Oh, she looks good. You wanna fuck. It's ridiculous. Uh,
I get more people on there, like, because right away we disclose the age to these people, the decoy age, and there's more people that are willing to talk to a 14, 13, 15-year-old than there is that aren't willing. Like, I get more yeses, I'll talk to you, than more no's, I won't talk to you. That's the disturbing part.
Now, do you guys travel statewide to do these, or you just stay in your own little community?
We stay pretty local just because of the relationship that we have with the police department here.
Right.
We like to stay local. We have had talks of traveling before and going different places and working with different sheriff's departments if they need help and stuff like that. But for now, we're just staying local.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Well, you guys, I think you guys are doing just a fantastic job. Exposing these shit bags. So,
Yeah, that's putting it nicely.
right. um, what about your friend over there? Does he have? Have you seen any types of experiences that you'd like to share?
Well, my buddy here, he asked me about almost 3 years ago, we've been doing this. And, hey, man, you want to help me do this? And we've been talking about it, and here we are now. And I love what we're doing. Like, I drop what I do when he calls me and say, hey, we got one. And
That's
I won't stop doing it till the day I die.
that's great. That's wonderful. You guys are certainly, like I said, certainly doing the people of Michigan a service,
Thank you.
and it's great. It's great. So, I mean, it's not just for protecting other people, it's protecting you also. You know what I mean? I mean, there's people out there that are doing this type of job or work, and they have families, you know, and they don't want their kids getting lured into that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So, and if they see this type of stuff, if they're exposed to your channel and everything, and they see what's going on, they'll probably be more aware that if some guy is texting you, some 40-year-old man is texting you, you know, to kind of be a little leery. If it's
Yeah,
especially if it's somebody you don't know.
definitely.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's what I preach all the time. The best thing for parents to do is to actually be a parent instead of a friend to their kids. You got to know what your kids are doing on their phones all the time, from parental control apps just to looking over their shoulder from time to time. You never know what your kids are really doing. These predators can get into their lives and their phones that quick, and they do. And
Yeah.
you never know what's going to happen. These guys that we expose, I mean, you see us exposing them and talking to them, and we still don't know their true intentions. They could have been really here to kidnap a little girl. Like, we really don't know what they were here to do. We know what they said in the messages, but we don't know if they got rope and a machete in their trunk. Like, so
Yeah.
that's the scary part.
So when you guys are doing these exposing things, and I noticed that you take a video of the guy's license plate,
Yep.
right? And can you talk to him a little bit? Do you directly take that to the police, or do you just wait to see if he does it again and then take it to the police, or how does that
Um,
work?
we've had better luck actually with waiting, because when we post these videos, the community, people from the community, they send the video to the police anyway, and kind of it all depends, like I said, on the county if they're willing to work with us and stuff. We've had cases where we've turned them in ourselves, and
Yeah.
they don't take it seriously. It's almost like they take it more seriously when you got the community complaining about it and calling it in and reporting it than if we're doing it ourselves. And like
Okay.
we've just from that, like we've had the FBI show up at our doors before because of the
Oh,
video. So like it gets out.
well, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. So, um, I was gonna say, as far as the police, let's say, for instance, a kind of a scenario. I don't know if this has happened to you yet, but you're doing this thing, you're videotaping, and it's all going, and all of a sudden, a cop just happens to be going by and sees you guys and turns his lights on to see what's going on. Has that happened before?
That hasn't happened
Oh, it
before.
hasn't happened.
We've had
Okay.
drive by during our exposures, but they've never intervened or anything. It could happen at any time. It could happen, and that's a win for us, really. It kind of speeds up the process a little bit. But that the thing is, like a lot of people are always commenting and stuff, like how come we don't have the police with us, or how come we don't call the police when we're there. There's a few things to that. In the United States, the way our laws work, things like this have to be investigated by detectives first. And so if we were just to call the police on scene, they would just take a report. That's all they do. They take a report because those are beat cops, those are street cops. They don't deal
Right.
with things. So but we have been in talks with our local police department about setting things up with them. I can't really talk too much about that, but
That's fine.
yep, they're definitely on board with what we do.
That's good. That's good. Well, guys, if you got anything else, I mean, it's kind of a short little discussion, you know, just to kind of get the word out there, you know, just to make people aware of your channel, kind of get curious and check it out. And so,
Yeah.
or is there any place that anyone can go to? Let's say if you guys take donations or a PayPal or a Patreon or something like that.
We never really ask for donations, but we do accept donations if people want to give them on our videos. In the description of our videos, there's a link to a PayPal account.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to donate, that just goes and helps our cause, kind of helps us get more safety equipment, more camera gear and stuff like that.
Are you guys fully decked out, like with a bulletproof vest and stuff like that?
Yep, we carry
Yeah.
both vests and guns and all that stuff, and
Okay.
you can never be too safe out there, really. And
Yeah, that's
you know,
true.
where we live isn't the best city in the world, so you gotta be prepared.
That's true. Michigan is kind of rough. Well, at
Well,
least parts of it. Parts of it.
yeah, inner
So,
cities. You got anything
yep,
you want?
Oh, I'm fine. It was good meeting you, though, and thank you
yep.
for recording us and talking to us.
Oh, you're welcome. Tell you what, stay on the line, and I'll just stop the recording. I'm going to talk to you a little more. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Just hold on.
All right.
I hope everybody enjoyed my discussion with Maximum Exposures in Michigan. If you would like to support this group, please go to their YouTube channel and subscribe and like their Facebook. Also, please subscribe to the Hammer Podcast. We also need your support. All right. So, for the Hammer Podcast, I'm Jason. Please take care of yourself and take care of each other.